confuse everybody.
I know.
Hello, everyone.
Hi, everybody.
I'm Steve.
And I'm Mark.
And this is SmokeySteveAndMarc.
Oh, yes, it is.
Welcome back, and happy Thursday. It is Thursday.
It is.
I was able to get my nose ring back in, too. It, swelled shut for a couple days. But today it just,
It just went right in.
It just went right back in.
Interesting.
Isn't that great?
It is great.
I'm all alternative now.
You are.
Yesterday I tried to dye my hair smoky, silver, blue.
Smoky silver.
And
blue.
it came out absolutely purple.
It looks good. I like it.
It's purple!
It's not... It's metallic. Like, when you see it in the light, it reflects. I wouldn't say it's necessarily straight up purple.
I'd bleach it again, but what if I go bald?
What would you do?
I don't know.
You're not gonna leave it?
I don't. Well, not forever. I shave my head generally.
No, I meant your
This
hat.
is 3 weeks worth of growth. I usually shave my head.
Yeah.
So, I don't know. But at any rate, it is Thursday. Today on Thursdays, we follow in the series of Life After Caretaking. So, anyone who's not familiar, if this is your first time, welcome. This is Mark, by the way. Not everyone who comes and hangs out for Thursday comes the rest of the week. So, in case you haven't met Mark, this is Mark. The channel we've been following has changed its name again. Originally, we were following the journey of Cynthia and Thomas Beaumont, as Thomas was... Well, I followed their channel for years, but we started this series when he was going through his cancer treatments, and unfortunately, Tommy passed away. And Cynthia is now doing the channel on her own. It's just her. The channel name changed from Cynthia and Thomas Beaumont to Cynthia Beaumont to Jersey Girl Journals to Cynthia Talks Tea to now it's My Little Part of the World. She ain't gonna be able to change that again for a while. When I changed mine to, I got alerts from Google. You can only do it so many times in a short period of time. So we're gonna share some thoughts about where she's at this week. Now the goal, I was gonna have a positivity week, okay? Yeah. I was gonna take a kinder angle. I alluded to this during Coffee Talk with Chantal, to take a nicer look at Cynthia. Is there redeeming qualities? Nobody's all bad, right? Like, nobody's all bad.
Right.
Good qualities, redeeming things, good things she's done. So I'm going through videos trying to find all this stuff. And then about midweek, she throws out the word colored. Okay. To describe a person. What did she say exactly? They weren't colored or they weren't Latino. They were white. So this was how she was describing race, essentially. So at that point I was like, what? If there's good in there, it's wrapped in ignorance. So, Mark wanted to share a few thoughts, and then I'm going to finish out with the rest of the video. He's going to touch on a few things that I'll elaborate on later, but he wanted to speak a little bit first, and then we'll get back to me.
Yes.
He's going to be leaving, which is why we're on the wrong sides.
Yeah, well, it's easier for me to get out this way.
Otherwise, I have to body slam him out of this.
Right.
So, the floor is yours.
Well, thank you. And thank you for wanting to hear my thoughts on this again. I was here a few weeks back, and I tend not to. This is Steve's thing, and I try not to step in, and plus, I really don't want to. But, I do appreciate you wanting to hear my opinions on this. And, like Steven said, I kind of wanted to go easy, and I don't like, this isn't my venue. This isn't my thing. I don't usually do reactions or, try to, I don't know, make opinions on other people or whatever, So it's a tad bit uncomfortable for me, right? So I thought, well, you know what? She is bereaving. She is alone. She's pretty much uneducated. She's never worked in her life, and but she's not old. She's 50, I think it is. Yeah. 49, going to be 50.
That's not old anymore.
So, it's a tough place to be in. And then, these videos came out this week, and I had it. The colored video, I just reached a point where I had it. In fact, in our household, we now are referring to her as she, whose name ought not be mentioned. And that's perfectly fine with me. I love it. I think it should be that way because to me, she's pretty toxic. She tends to put me in a bad mood. I get very riled up, you know, when I see her because I'm pretty empathetic towards well, pretty much everybody, you know, and when I take that on, I just don't like how I feel whenever I see her. We'll just put it like that, okay? So,
well, don't split hairs.
I've kind of just washed my hands of the situation. So, but then and then the video came out just today, actually, and she was very personal, and, she admitted, that she has found herself alone. I think she's struggling to find her way now. She is alone. She doesn't have a job. She, what's her purpose type of a thing, and I can absolutely relate to that, and I wouldn't wish that on anybody at all, but what we have to remember is that she put herself into this position, okay? She alienated herself and Tommy of all of their friends and all of their family. Her control freak behavior, and, well, I don't have to give the reasons why. We all know she is in this position of her own accord, okay? So I just wanted to say a couple quick things, and I will take off because I don't want to take up your time. And this week, these videos made me just absolutely sick. The colored thing, that video did not sit well with me at all. I don't care how you look at it. The term colored now, that to me, again, I don't want to speak for other people, is a racist term, period. Okay, my grandfather, who's 82 years old, used the word colored. My grandfather died 20 years ago, okay? Like, she is a grown woman, okay? She's lived life. She knows right from wrong. Or does she, I don't know. I don't know. Another thing that got me, in one video, I mean, she's at an all-time low. In one video, poor me, entitled ignorance, e-begging, and racism, all in one video. And I got all riled up about it. He was like, calm down, But, I find myself now almost turning on her fans. Fans, she calls them fans, okay? And I'll explain why. She is constantly making videos showing off what people are sending to her. Groceries, all kinds of stuff, okay? And, e-begging or not, whatever, you know what? She knows. She mentions something, she gets it, okay? Why wouldn't she, okay? I mean, why wouldn't she? It's not, whatever. It is what it is. Why wouldn't she do it, right? So I find myself getting angry at her fans, the ones who continuously send her stuff, over and over again, especially in this day and age, right now, where you can turn on the news and you can see people waiting in line for hours to get food from the food pantry to feed their families. I just think it is just so sickening, and do you think that Cynthia would take a stand and say, guys, thank you so much for your generosity, but you know what, next time, can you send it to your local food bank? Or here's the address to my local food bank. Can you do that instead? That would never come out of her mouth. Never. Not once. I just think that, and that's what I meant about, like, kind of being angry with her fans and these people are generous people who are doing this, so if they want to, and it's almost like they're competing with one another to be on, like, Cynthia's top 5 list or something. I really don't get it. I don't get it. I don't understand it at all. So that was, one thing that just did not sit well with me. I made some notes here so I wouldn't forget that, what I wanted to say here, because I don't know. That's basically it. I don't want to take up your time. That's really what didn't sit well with me. Again, this past week, even though I was we were both trying to view her in a different way, I believe she may have some behavioral or mental health issues. I am not a professional in this field. Perhaps she doesn't know right from wrong. I don't know. The rant she went on, that rant in that video where she just went off. I mean, I couldn't believe it. I almost felt sorry for her in that video. But again, she has proven in the last week that she is ignorant, entitled, and pretty much unappreciative. I mean, to forget time and time again the cards that people send to her, or the names of, the people who have sent her things, in my opinion, is totally unacceptable. very inconsiderate and very rude. I just, I really wanted to sympathize with her, and I do sympathize with the situation that she's in now. Being alone, she doesn't know what to do, she has no work history or experience at all, but that does not negate the fact that she put herself into this position and that she could absolutely change the situation she is in by doing something about it.
Mm-hmm.
You can go online, you can take classes, you can better yourself. I would support a person that was trying to better themselves in a second. I would support them. So I don't know, I guess that's pretty much all that I have.
Okay.
I hope I didn't impede too much or take away from
No,
anything
you only
that
took
were...
10 minutes.
10 minutes? I'm sorry. I know I could be a little bit long-winded.
You need to speak your piece. That's okay.
I just wanted to say, the way I feel. I really, really wanted to use our, what do we call this? Our venue or whatever.
Forum.
Our forum
Our
or
podium.
whatever to kind of spread positivity and things, but I'm finding it very, very, very difficult to do that with this situation, especially with all the food and everything that's being sent to her when there are people that cannot feed their families. And the colored thing and all of that. It just didn't sit well with me. So anyway.
All right. Well, thank you for your input.
Well, thank you for having me, and thank you for having me. I'll see you all next time. Okay.
Bye.
All right. Bye bye.
Well, that was Mark's spirited take on things. So, just go over some of the ground that we had gone on. And yes, this was supposed to be a nice video. And it will end up a little bit nice. Well, not mean, okay? So, alright. So as to using the word colored. Alright. Now, as Mark said, and I will say this, my grandfather also died when he was 82. And that was 15 years ago when he had used the word colored. It's kind of a term that's like locked in time and space. Like what once maybe was appropriate 100 years ago is not maybe appropriate now. My thinking is kind of like this. If you walked up to a person of color and called them colored to their face, if you can deal with that reaction, you can say it wherever. But if you speak differently about someone in private than you do in public in terms of using language like that, I don't know. We just had a local political official get caught on a hot mic because she left the thing on during a meeting on Zoom, and she said some extremely anti-Semitic things, and it didn't go over well in the community. So, New Jersey, it surprised me though, aside from just, it was more of a curiosity. I mean, honestly, I think it was bad language. It's not what I would use. But she lives in New Jersey, and she's not even 50. I mean, it's not like this is like 1920. And New Jersey is a relatively diverse state in the northeastern part of the United States. You know, we're all supposed to be libtards, aren't we? And like, you know, be considerate and thoughtful and up on the language. And that's, it seems like that was just avoided. And I've spent a little, I'm not going to say a lot, a little time in North Jersey. My sister's from Bergen County. My sister-in-law is from Bergen County. My father grew up in Elizabeth. I spent some time in Union City. I went for Colombian food and got really drunk and had to take a jitney to Manhattan. One of those unmarked black buses where you're not sure where they're going. So I've been in and around some of those areas. And they're very diverse areas if you leave the 4-block radius that you grew up in, I guess. But maybe she was a little more sheltered in that way. So I don't know. And the thing, and this is when Mark was talking about her supporters, someone had left a comment underneath, which of course is gone, that said, "Don't be such a snowflake, you guys. At least she didn't use the N-word." Are these the only 2 possible words to use in this circumstance? Did it even need to be used at all to describe the person's race or skin color in this scenario? I don't know. Whatever. At any rate, get with the times, man. Get with the times, Cynthia. It's not cool. It's not cool. Now, as to Miss Speaks, or whatever, I wanted to share a thought or two, because we've talked about e-begging on the channel quite a bit. And again, I've said before, Cynthia's certainly not the only person to do this. I don't even think she reaps the biggest haul as an e-beggar, as some other people do. But I may have misspoken. It might not be E begging. It could be E complaining. Cynthia admits and has admitted she's a complainer. It's one of her defining characteristics. She complains about almost everything. She's perpetually Saint Cynthia, Our Lady of Perpetual Dissatisfaction. Nothing is good enough. Why? I don't know. She always deserves a little better than what she gets. Because. So she'll frame it now as she's just thinking out loud. So right after she gets something and either doesn't know what it is underwhelmed by what she got, or wishes she had something different, when she says out loud that she wishes it was something else, that's not complaining. That's just thinking out loud. So she's just thinking that she doesn't like what she got. She's not complaining she doesn't like it. She's just talking out loud. So, yeah. Someone sent her the 5 pounds of jelly beans. Cynthia struggles with her weight, and all of us deal with our weight struggles in our own ways. Cynthia has opted at times, and I will give Cynthia credit for this, and it's something that Chantal could take notes. Cynthia has made weight loss and done repeated weight loss journeys on her channel. Now, granted, Cynthia's had a channel for about, 7, 8, 9 years? A long time. Cynthia's been a YouTuber for a really long time. And I've probably 6 weight loss journeys where she's documented what I ate today and what I do today. She doesn't exercise. And she said in the early videos she can't. But she would do weigh-ins. She did like a weekly weigh-in for 70 weeks, and she lost a bunch of weight. She got down to about 200 pounds, and she looked good, and she seemed happier, and they were able to go do more stuff, and I think she was more mobile. I only saw her start using the cane when she hit about 300. So, she's capable of making good content, and she's capable of setting boundaries with her content, because when she didn't want to do diet content anymore, she stopped putting it up, and she stopped talking about it. And if nobody really jumped on her for it, because she didn't make a huge deal about it. She's like, I'm doing it, and then she'd fall off the wagon and go, oh god, I gotta get onto that. But she didn't make big dramatic promises about weight loss, and then make a big deal and make announcement videos when she stopped. So I'll give Cynthia credit for that as far as handling that topic on her channel. Again, Chantal, take notes. You don't want people to talk about your weight? Stop talking about your weight. It worked. It worked. So, it's interesting that she's still, when I watch not so much a mukbang, but she's having like whatever, still tuna sandwiches and Easy Mac. I suppose if one was being cynical, then you wouldn't want to maybe eat a steak while you're saying you're out of everything, because it might paint the picture that you're not actually out of anything. You want what you want someone else to pay for it. Eating a steak and saying how poor you are it doesn't paint a good picture. It makes it look like you're lying, pretty much. It makes it look like you're lying and deceiving people. Just that's all.
Interesting.
Just a thought. It was just a thought. Now, transportation. She complains about transportation this way and that way. And someone did send her... There was a comment about getting around with her. I think the Amazon Fresh package came. And it had a bunch of food in it. And as far as being fresh, there wasn't a whole lot of fresh stuff in it. But, if she's not going to eat it, I guess why get food that's going to spoil? So, someone said, you used to travel. I cut off the top of this, but based on seeing you take countless videos of where you're taking the buses. My grandmother's in her 80s and takes the bus to buy things from her Japanese grocer. Amazing woman. I love her. Essentially saying, Cynthia, why aren't you taking the bus? Cynthia said, yes, I did take countless buses, but that was when I had Tommy to help, and not during a pandemic. I just picture that blue cart dragging it up the stairs, just ka-chunk, 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 hauling all those friggin' candles. So, what changed very fast, and what was once easy to do is not. I'll agree with that. That's fair. In another rebuttal as to why she can't do something, you make it sound so easy to just catch a bus. You see a bus stop and say she can catch the bus. Try getting on that bus from my location. I have to take lots of buses to get there. The one bus that travels from Burger Line to River Road runs once an hour. I'd have to take 1 or 2 buses to catch that one bus. Could take hours to do, and then I'd have to do it again to get to Trader Joe's. So no, I will not be able to just take a bus, more like 6 to get to one store. Well, welcome to New Jersey. This is what happens when you rely on public transportation and don't have a vehicle. Don't have a driver's license, actually, because a vehicle was gifted or left free and clear to her and Tommy. And for whatever reasons, known only to them, they didn't have driver's licenses and didn't care to keep a car. So, people do make the it's such a two-sided argument. Why don't you have a car? Because it's a big, and our subscribers say, it's a big city. A lot of people don't have cars. It's like, okay, well then take the bus. It's not so easy to just take the bus. You can't, so what? So there's always a reason not to do something. There's always a reason not to do something helpful. It's so much easier to sit and wait for somebody else to fix it. Someone will send me food. Someone will send me this. Now you guys have to send quarters too. Did you catch today's video? Don't forget, because the bank's closed, and they need to do more laundry, and you better send quarters. I mean, right now we're actually getting towards the e-begging for cash. Not bills, but make sure you send quarters, because you can't make change at the Indian store. Transportation and getting around. Now, this is not as simple as it sounds, aside from the bus. I'm talking about, like, county transit for disabled people and stuff. Those little short buses do run around. The little, I don't mean derogatory short bus. I mean, they're like half the size of a regular bus. In our county, they're blue. And they have the handicap thing to get on for like a wheelchair, and they take you to doctor's appointments and shopping and stuff like that. Now, in our area, they've reduced trips to only essential stuff. So if you need like dialysis or some other major thing, they will take you to the doctor. But for other trips that are like social or non-essential, like if it's a mental health appointment or if you need to go buy food, they're not running. So I understand that very well it could be the same situation with her. So the idea that there's senior and disabled transport is true. She may be afraid to get on it, but that might be moot anyway, because it might not be running as a service she could even utilize. So something to be said for ordering in. A lot of people are ordering in, but they're buying their own stuff, you know. Okay, now this is, pause here. Now we're going to steer away for a second from things that are not so pleasant about Cynthia, from her choice of language, from her interactions with her audience, from boxes piling up all over the house, and we're going to talk about a video that came out today. And this is a video where Mark touched on at the end of his bit of discussion the more human side of Ms. Beaumont. So, again, you know, this was a more vulnerable Cynthia that we kind of saw at the end of this video. She does her fair share of complaining because it's Cynthia. And by the way, this is where she says to send the quarter. She didn't say to send quarters. I'm not going to put words in her mouth. But she does her typical, it's the typical line of, I don't know what I'm going to do when I run out of quarters because I can't do this and I can't do that. And somebody will jump in to fix it. They'll send quarters. But that's how the e-begging kind of goes on her channel. It's not begging, it's e-complaining. And then somebody will fulfill that. So, but she had anxiety about going to do the laundry. It's a small space. It's a confined space. She spent, not to, you know, diminish that before she was in the pandemic shutdown that we're in, she was pretty much inside for a month before that because Tommy was sick. And they'd only leave every so often to go to the hospital because he was having some sort of emergency due to lack of care. So they were out often, but not for long periods of time. So she's been shut in since winter. Pretty much. She's going stir crazy. If you thought that she had some issues before, compound that with 4 months of cabin fever. I'm not making excuses for her. These are facts. This is just where she's at. And she acknowledges in this video that she's led, it's hard to think of Cynthia having a charmed life, but she was taken care of by her mother and then taken care of by Tommy. And she didn't, unless she's left out a career, work full-time for any extended period of time, and she never really had to do much of this stuff. And she's talking about going through the laundry and how she wants to wash some of Tommy's blankets and she wants to keep those, and that's a hard thing. You know, I haven't lost a spouse, lost family members, and you see their things and you remember the smell of it. It's all too much. The smell of it, the look of it, you flash back. She's given away some of his stuff, so that's tough. And she's kind of having some human moments in here. And the reason I call them that is because she didn't, I think, Steve's opinion, she was upset, she was crying in some of it. And she cries in almost every video, and sometimes it's strategically placed with a need for a grocery item. This wasn't. This was just her straight up flat out talking about how she doesn't know, like, her place in the world. Like, what's she gonna do? She has nobody left, and again, Mark addressed that the situation she's in, where there's nobody around, is, quite frankly, her own doing. She didn't ask to be an only child, but there's a lot of people who are widows or were only children that have friends. You know, you make friends. If you'd like to. If you're a shy person who doesn't want friends, that's fine. But if you tell everyone to screw off and then complain that you're alone, you can't complain you're alone if you told everyone to go away. I mean, it shouldn't be a surprise that no one's around. But that doesn't make the loneliness any less real. As ass backwards as that is, the loneliness is real. And she doesn't know what she's going to do with herself, from what it sounds like. She's not sure about her place in the world. Why is she even still here? These are the kind of things that Cynthia says that makes me concerned for her. Yes, I'm concerned for Cynthia Beaumont, okay? Don't come for me. I know, I'm a sucker. I'm rooting for Chantal, for God's sake, so I am a bit of a sucker. And I know Cynthia hates me and I'm a cockroach and she wouldn't even watch this and she'd rip me 3 days from Sunday. But I do relate more to her as this video goes on, and I remember thinking back now, if this esophageal cancer journey was really a journey and not trying to keep Tommy awake on camera to do unboxings and stuff, it was really showing the feelings and the rough parts, and I understand they want to keep some of that private, it's medical stuff, and some stuff isn't appropriate for YouTube. But the feelings that they were going through, because now in this video she's talking about the feelings she's having right now. That's real. I would watch all these. I'm not her target audience, probably, but I would watch those. If that was a real journey, if this was a real journey afterwards of finding her way and finding her interests and little by little getting out of the house, and now she can do laundry, and then she went outside, little by slow, I'm on board for that. I like that, and that's, I think, great for her to do. I'm happy that she's doing it. I think in the long run these little steps will pile up and she'll have something like a life, and I think she'll figure out where her place is in all of this. So I wanted to end on a kinder note with Ms. Beaumont, because when I was hoping to do a kind video, and then she gets on some racist shit, and then that passed, and then I came into today's and I thought there's something else that needs to be addressed, which is that she actually appears to be struggling in a way that isn't meant to coerce someone to send her a Hickory Farms basket. It seems to be actually just struggling. So, thoughts are with you, Cynthia. I know you don't think I care. It's okay. I get to like you even if you don't like me. I'm allowed. So, Godspeed. I hope things continue to go well, and continue to improve. Laundry's a big deal. I know it's a big deal because we've been doing our laundry bit by bit too. So we have to go across town, so we have to get off our lazy ducks and go do ours. But keep on keeping on. But don't be surprised if people want to hold you accountable for the things you say, especially on a public forum. You know, we all have to take shots if we say things that are out of place. So the good comes with the bad with that. So that's all I've got for today. So thank you all for watching. Thanks, Mark.
You're welcome.
Please do subscribe, hit the like button and the bell so you can get all the alerts. You can follow Mark and I on Facebook at SmokeySteveAndMarc, or on Instagram at SmokeySteveAndMarc. Our email address and our contact info is all listed below. Thank you again, and we will catch up with you tomorrow. Have a good day, everyone. Bye. Bye.